A lot of times when I view films about middle class experiences, this kind of visceral reaction happens jahan all the stress of having to give competitive exams just comes back to me. I don't know if that's a sign of a good film or not, but that does happen here. Hi, I'm Pratiksha Mishra and you're listening to my review of All India Rank. Varun Grover's directorial debut, All India Rank, is basically a story that we have seen and heard of before. एक लड़का है विवेक, played by Bodhisattva Sharma, who is on his way to Kota, essentially to get into IIT. तो वहाँ पे उसकी कोचिंग होने वाली है. He does not seem ready to do this. वो ये कर रहा है क्योंकि वो उसके पापा का सपना है. Not to be an IITian as such, but to become an IITian's father. We see in the film how Vivek doesn't even know what his dreams are, क्योंकि वो अपने पापा के सपनों को लेके इतने टाइम से चल रहा है कि उसने अपने सपने बनाए ही नहीं हैं. He has fully not thought कि उसको जिंदगी में क्या करना है. This is a very interesting look into just the dynamic that they share as father and son, and something that extends throughout the film as well. On the face of it, it's very easy to draw comparisons between All India Rank and 12th Fail, but honestly, they're very starkly different films. दोनों film का basic premise might seem the same, but just the energy that runs throughout both films is very, very different. 12th Fail is about this person who's very determined to give himself a better life, his family a better life, and here we're seeing a boy who's just frustrated, not with the fact that the competition is very high, but the fact that he's being forced into something he doesn't want to do. Sharma plays this character very well. जो विवेक का character है बहुत passive protagonist है. He's not doing anything actively in the film. और जब ऐसा एक character होता है, उसके साथ audience का connection establish करना is very tough. Both Grover and Sharma do a very good job in actually making this character relatable, और वो connectivity वहाँ से आ जाती है. When he's frustrated कि लोग उसके लड्डू चुरा के ले जा रहे हैं, और he gets so upset that he just throws his pen everywhere, his pent-up aggression coming out on inanimate objects, it's all very relatable. I also really like the way anger is shown in the film, or frustration is shown in this film. विवेक और उसके डैड बहुत तरीके से सिमिलर हैं. बोथ ऑफ देम हैव पेंट अप एंगर एंड फ्रस्ट्रेशन दैट दे डोंट रियली डायरेक्टली एक्सप्रेस और डोंट हैव अ स्पेस टू एक्सप्रेस. जबकि विवेक का फ्रस्ट्रेशन इनएनिमेट ऑब्जेक्ट्स पे निकलता है. हिज फादर्स फ्रस्ट्रेशन ऑफ से बीइंग ओवरलुक्ड एंड ओवरवर्क्ड एट हिज जॉब, और नो वन टेकिंग हिम सीरियसली, और जस्ट बीइंग एक्सप्लॉइटेड बाय दोज अराउंड हिम कम्स आउट ऑन फोर्सिंग विवेक टू बिकम एन IIT person. Shashi Bhushan as Vivek's father R.K. Singh feels like someone has picked up a character from the show Office कि अभी कोई आके उनको बोलेगा कि देखो ऐसा करेंगे तो दो बातें हो सकती हैं. गीता अग्रवाल plays मंजू, विवेक्स मदर, जो उनके फैमिली के लिए ही PCO में काम करती हैं. And she also has a very interesting arc. We see just forms of rebellion in her as well. And that's another thing कि ये जो फैमिली के तीन लोग हैं, इन सबके रिबेलियंस के फॉर्म बहुत अलग अलग हैं, बट वी सी हाउ ऑल ऑफ दिस इज टेंटेड बाय वन थिंग विच इज पेट्रियार्की. विवेक कांट स्पीक अप टू हिज फादर. जब वो कुछ बोलने भी जाता है, वो वहां अटक जाता है कि मैं डियर फादर लिखूं कि रिस्पेक्टेड फादर लिखूं. R.K. Singh himself can't stand up for himself because he doesn't have the social capital that others around him have. He isn't an IITian's father. This is an expectation that nobody except society has placed upon him. एक और आर्क इस फिल्म में ऐसा भी है where one man is essentially terrorizing Vivek's family. Now because of this we also see how even his terrorizing of Vivek's family is very gendered, and that is a very interesting look into how violence is gendered in real world as well. The main problem with All India Rank is that it's nothing new and that it's trying to do too much with too little time. All India Rank का जो basic premise है of this boy who doesn't really want to do IIT but is put in Kota to kind of manage someone else's dream is not new. अगर आपने कोटा फैक्ट्री देखी है, अगर आपने 12th फेल भी देखी हो, a lot of the things that happen in the film are very predictable. और जब ऐसी एक फिल्म होती है which has a very basic premise, if things become predictable in it, you're not entirely engaged in it. To the film's credit, they have managed to capture the essence of the story very well. The film is set in late 1970s India and also in Lucknow and Kota. जो छोटे छोटे intricacies हैं of just Kota and Lucknow as cities and also of India in the 1970s are captured very well in this. Varun Grover obviously has written films like Masan, so you expect that kind of theme to also resonate in this film, and it does happen in places. एक इशू ये है कि इट इज़ अ वेरी सिली गूफी वे ऑफ डीलिंग विद वेरी सीरियस इशूज. नॉट दैट इट्स नॉट पॉसिबल, जैसे हमने पंचायत में देखा था, यू कैन डील विद सीरियस इशूज वाइल बीइंग अ लिटिल लाइट हार्टेड, बट इट डजंट ट्रांसलेट वेरी वेल इन ऑल इंडिया रैंक. देर आर सम सीन्स दैट आर वेरी इफेक्टिव, जैसे कि दो गवर्नमेंट ऑफिशियल्स डिस्कस कर रहे होते हैं कि केक पे स्वतंत्रता लिखना है कि आज़ादी लिखना है. सो दीज लिटिल सीन्स वेर इट फील्स लाइक द फिल्म इज गोइंग टू गो अबव इट्स प्रेमिस आर वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग. बट जब ज़्यादा कुछ नया होता नहीं है, even the kind of nostalgia and the charm that the film has can kind of just become a little dull. One of the best parts about this film are the performances. Shashi Bhushan and Geeta Agrawal have such an easygoing chemistry playing a married couple on screen. कि यू एक्चुअली फील लाइक यूर वॉचिंग अ फैमिली, और ऐसा नहीं लगता कि आप दो आर्केटाइप्स को स्क्रीन में साथ में देख रहे हो. दे हैव दीज लिटिल मोमेंट्स ऑफ चार्म एंड टेंडरनेस इन द एंटायर स्टोरी विच रियली ब्रिंग्स दिस होल फैमिली सेटअप टुगेदर, एंड you can't view any of these characters as black and white. You actually get to view them as humans. So इस film के makers का understanding of their characters is really really good, and that's the thing, the film's writing is so good that the only problem here is the lack of novelty. And it just feels like इतने सारे arcs हैं that when you don't have something that you're specifically focusing on or messages that you're actually delving into, it just becomes a very lackluster experience. All India Rank is an easy watch. Does that mean that it's a good or bad watch? Not really. It's one of those films that just is. And sure, it's not a torturous experience to sit through, but that doesn't make it a great cinema viewing experience. Sheba Chadda features in this film as one of their teachers, and she has proved that वो किसी भी character को बेच सकती है, and apparently she can also sell physics. हमें उनकी backstory ज़रा सी देखने को मिलती है, and it's one of those moments where you realize कि All India Rank might be one of those rare films that would have done better as a mini series if they had kind of fleshed out everything a little more. समता सुदीक्षा is also in this film as the very diligent student सारिका कुमारी. हमें देखने को मिलता है कि उनका जो फिजिक्स की और प्यार है is bigger than an IIT. She cares about how physics connects you to the real world. Her character also becomes just a part of the film as a cog, and there's nothing much to write home about, which sucks because she did give a very decent performance, but उनका characterization भी formulaic हो जाता है like this film. It is, I think, a little tacky to say कि film के सारे frames painting जैसे लगते हैं. अर्चना गांगरेकर's frames look like वो पुराने stamp से उठ के आए हैं. It looks like R.K. लक्ष्मण की दुनिया has transformed into cinema. Absolutely stunning frames, and it really helps that the film's music is also so fun to listen to, and the animations are stunning. They're just so cute to look at. Varun Grover also features as a lyricist in these songs, and they're so foot tapping. They might not be songs that you listen to on a loop, but during the big screen experience just on cinema as part of this film, they all work out really really well. To wrap things up, let's talk about Euler's identity. It comes up a few times in the film. A British mathematician, Keith Devlin, had once said of the identity that it reaches into the very depths of existence. And that is, I think, what this film is lacking. While it tries to kind of do that, it never manages to, and everything just becomes very surface level, and you're left wondering where the film that's under the one you're actually watching kind of got lost. And that is why my rating for All India Rank is 3 stars out of 5.